What's up guys, Wofty Wild here with another Lightroom tutorial. So today we are going to talk you through the basic editing techniques. Our last tutorial I will link to here. If you didn't watch this, please go back and have a look at it. It teaches you about how to flag the images and crop the images, just going through my basic workflow in Lightroom. So we're going to get into editing them in the development module now and how we go about this and some tips and tricks on how to save you time in your editing. So let's get started. So I'm going to run through, we're just going to work with the basic panel, very basic edits and how I like to do them. And I do it mostly on feel. When I'm doing the whites, you hold down Alt key and anything that shows up is blown out. So if you overdo it, you lose a lot of detail. So we don't want to lose any detail. So we pull it to just before. And same with the blacks, hold the Alt down. You'll see it'll go too dark. So we just want to show a tiny bit of true black. And that just beefs up how histogram looks, and I enjoy quite a bit of clarity and quite a bit of vibrance. So the really cool thing about Lightroom is as soon as you've done one edit, then you can copy. Remember, we've only worked on the basics. One more thing before we go. So I like to put a bit of vignette onto the image. So if you overdo it, it looks really, really terrible. But I just like to do a tiny bit on the edges. I don't really like to go over 20. Just draws a bit into our focus point. So we're copying the basics, clarity, as well as the vignette, our post-crop vignette. So let's copy that. And then the next image, all you do is paste. So very similar, and then you can make minor adjustments. So this exposure just needs to come up a tiny bit. If you look at the blacks where we are right now, there's a bit too much, so let's pull those back a bit and maybe a tiny bit more exposure and lift the shadows a bit more. There, and we've got a perfect image. So see how much less time we spent on the second image to the first image. So we're going to copy that now because it's a better version and paste. Almost perfect. So maybe a tiny bit darker, but that's cool. That's a really cool image. And paste. Perfect. Check it out. We don't even need to change anything there. I really like this image. One thing you can try is identify what would be cool in black and white. So it's a really nice plain background, which will look really cool. And then you can increase contrast and just really play around with how you want it to look. Make it really white. That's quite cool. I actually don't think I cropped this one so well. Just get it a bit straighter. That looks a bit better. So you can always go back. That's a really cool thing about Lightroom, is none of the edits are permanent. You can always go back and change everything. But I quite like that. Bring the exposure up a bit. And then the blacks down a bit. That's really cool. Nice one of G's. So you can always paste, and that works quite well. Quite like that. So Jesus' eyes are closed, but it's quite a cool one of her and the squirrel.
Really into the exposure up there. It's quite a lot of dark under that will be there. Don't forget to copy a new one, so now we've got two more coming up that are very similar to it. So we're going to use a very similar edit. The exposure is a bit better, so we can bring it down. See, I've pushed everything up. The top of the histogram, let's pull that back a bit, much better. Put these not facing us. Let's copy that. Now remember, I'm doing it the long way around here, so if you want to copy, you can Control C, and that'll copy everything. And then Control V to paste that setting. Maybe a bit more. Maybe two sides so we can really enjoy some. And always look back and just again, so that's a really nice bowl shaped spread, but we don't want to lose too much in the black here, so if you hold that alt, you just want to pull that back a bit, and you can see it looks much better there. And then Command C, and Command V, dark image, see how that histogram moves, watch the histogram there, that's a much better balance of the photo, and you can see it looks much better there. So make sure you're checking that you have good white balance. I want this to look a little warmer, but not too much. That is better. And the gradient filter mainly uses for skies to bring that detail with the blowing out. And we can just pull that exposure down, and I like to use the behave just to bring a bit more into that sky. There we go, much better, just a bit of detail back there. Quite a cool photograph. And then copy and paste that. We've already edited this one, so you can see what we've done to the sky there. Lifted a bit. Just remember, when you do lift the shadows, you lose a lot of the contrast, so you need to make up for that somehow by bringing the blacks back a bit. And keep the vibrance up, that'll make it look better. That's quite a cool photograph. Turned out quite nicely. Very nice. Darkening. Just click on it and check how it's gone. Don't want that dark. And just want to pull it down a bit. That's cool. I just want to get all this grass out in the foreground there. Much better. If you don't want the gradient filter to copy, you can just remove either the static or the entire local adjustments. And that's pretty on par. If you do ever want to rotate the side that it looks, you just go photos and you can flip it. So as you get further and further along, you should be able to save more and more time by syncing the edit that you made and just making minor adjustments to each. The rest was definitely not cropped, so you just need to make sure that the whatever way is better. And we'll definitely need a gradient filter. Don't want to mess up too much of a hole there. So what you can do in this kind of instance is do two, make a mistake, Command Z to undo. So you can do two gradient filters, just as I'm going to show you now. So one on each corner. Better so it's not dark in the corner there. And then our second one will be on the side. Just follow it in the corner there. And we get the picture looking forward without messing up this part of the landscape. Okay. Just in the bottom of the colour. Just need a bit more light there. Cool.
It's always nice to capture a different angle. So there's our first up close to show the detail. There's a wide angle so you get a feel for what kind of environment you're in while still getting the picture. And there's just a different perspective of she's taking a photo of it. So just a different view, different way of telling the story. Remember, in photography, you are always telling a story. So you need to think about how you want to tell your story and what kind of an audience you're going to be telling your story to. Is getting blown out a bit, so we just want to pull those whites back so we're not blowing out too much. That's much better. And copy, because we have all of these are the same sort of photo. Exposure's been done differently, but remember to always look at the details. So here you can see Dad taking the photo, which is quite cool, but sometimes you don't want to see who the photographer is, or especially if you're doing a professional shoot, you don't want to be in the photo. So be careful of mirrors and windows like this and being in the reflection there. Just something to watch out for. Another tip and trick from Wofty Wild. Cool photograph. And the change in angle. So I want you to take note of what our professional photographer Mark has done here. So look at his change in angle. He's really high there, which is a cool photograph. People are normally easier to photograph from higher, but as soon as you get onto the same level, there's much more connection with our eyes here, and you feel like you can connect with the person much better. It's a really good photograph, Mike. But if you look reflection again, which is quite cool because it is us, but if it's a professional photo shoot, try to change your angle a bit so you're just not dead on in that photograph. Very cool though. Well done, Mike. This might be quite cool in black and white. That is quite nice. And then we can really play with how far we go either way. That is quite a cool photograph. We can go really dark on the real dark side, or really light. If you do go really dark, you can pull the white quite far. That's actually quite a nice dramatic look. Always just play around, see how you go, see what works for you. I quite like that. I just don't like this piece of bush in the foreground. So let's just take that out. Get it out the way, then you're not distracted by anything. And really nice line coming across the middle here. Very chuffed with that. Again, drawing your attention. So let's take that out. And we don't want an aerial in the photograph. So let's take that out. Much better. Okay, these are two very similar photographs. So you don't want to have both of them. But I actually quite like this chimney more in the middle. So I'm going to unflag that. So we fast forwarded through the rest of the editing, so you don't have to sit through too much time. But here is a few samples of the finished product, what our photos look like once we've finished editing them. So it's always nice to review them at thumbnail level just to check what they look like and how they turned out. And then we like to go through them at full size and see how they're doing. We're not going to spend too much time, but I just want to give you a quick preview of the editing that we've done and how it's turned out. So let's quickly go through all the images and you can have a look at how the editing turned out. And there's nothing more rewarding than looking back on some of your photographs from a holiday and enjoying what you've captured. Remember that your photographs are telling a story. So think about the order that you show them to people and how you want to tell your story. It's really important to think about how you curate this and how you display your photos. Remember, we want to share what we've captured with the rest of the world. So don't be shy to put this stuff on Instagram, Facebook, and any other places that you would like to share your photographs with your friends and your family. It's so nice to look back at beautiful landscapes and just realize how beautiful the world is. It's amazing how far we've come with our digital photography and how it's made everyone a photographer, which is so nice that everyone can share these amazing images. And even better to be proud of your work and to enjoy the creative process. Remember, what you are creating could last a lifetime, so make sure that it expresses who you are and what you are made of, because you are creating memories and adding to your legacy. Your children will look back one day and brag about how amazing their parents are and what they have created. Always remember, we're appreciating what's around us and recording memories of beautiful experiences that we've had and beautiful places that people have impacted. Animals, history, landscapes, it's all something to be proud of and something to enjoy. I love sharing these photographs with you guys and looking back on special memories such as these with our family. So good to have such a great family to share memories with and to share my life with. I hope you enjoyed these photographs and enjoy browsing through the last few, and let me know if you have any comments or questions below, and I will respond to you and let you know according to what you've asked. So don't be shy, ask questions right now and I will respond as soon as possible. Remember, we're in the digital age, so don't be shy to go out there and experiment. If it doesn't work out, you can always delete your photographs. So go out there, try new things, try different types of photographs and see what works for you and see what you enjoy. Don't ever be too shy to try something. Go out there and start creating. And I'm looking forward to seeing some of your photographs. Comment down below with some links to your photographs and I'd love to check them out and give you some comments and feedback. Let me know below. And that's us done. So thanks for watching another Lightroom tutorial by Wofty Wild. If you enjoyed this Lightroom tutorial, hit that like button. If you have any questions or queries about how I do my workflow or questions about what was done, please